Hello and welcome to Jamie TV, streaming 100% live on YouTube and trying very hard not to pissy pants about. Thank you very much for joining me today. I'm just checking everything seems to be working. I think everything is groovy and cool. So, I've been recording a track sort of from scratch, putting the parts down in this live stream in front of everyone, and sort of trying to get people's input as I go along as to what direction they think I should go in with the track. Now, at the end of yesterday's stream, I had put down some guitar with some auto wah, and I was really happy with that sound. I liked how that, because I didn't know whether I was going to go with a more acoustic based track or electric guitars or a bit of both, and I really liked how the electric guitar turned out. So what I did after yesterday's stream was I just finished putting down, because I got the parts down for the electric guitar for the introduction, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. So I then went and put those parts down for the other verses and choruses throughout the rest of the song. And also off camera, what did I do? I can't remember. Oh yes, I've slept since then, you know, but not for long, unfortunately. I'm a bit shattered today. I finished the percussion stuff, that's right. So in yesterday's live stream, I was showing how I used the LPD8 to play some samples, some percussion samples, which were various conga samples that I'd put into Digisticks. And I was kind of trying to get something down live. Now, I'm not the best at playing percussion in with pads. It's something I've not done an awful lot of, and I am actually the worst drummer in the world. I'll play anything with strings. Give me something, you know, with keys, I'll have a go, but drums, I am just absolutely hopeless, which has always frustrated me because I like drums more than anything else, actually. If I go and watch a live band, it's the drums I'm most focused on. Hi Ed, thank you for being here, sir. And so, I actually, Ed, I was looking at your studio photos again, because I'm trying to get my head round Discord a little bit more, and I was just kind of like, you know, trying to get more into it and inviting more people to be part of my Discord, and I was looking at the studio pictures that you posted again, and yeah, it's a really cool setup. That's a lot of gear in a small space, which is basically what I have in here. I like that. Hi Paul, thanks for being here, mate. What's Ed saying? I don't have the patience for creating the drums myself. What do you do then, Ed? Tell me, do you use loops, or do you get someone to do the drums for you? Let me know. Tell me what you do. Yeah, so I was doing that in the stream, and I felt a little bit uncomfortable, really. I thought this is going to take me ages to get down what I want here. So I just did a bit, and what I said was that I would edit that in my own time and add a bit more to it, and I've done that. So I'll play that for you. Let's just... I think the mix, I mean, it's not a great mix or anything, but I think it's reasonably okay. Oh, and the other thing I needed to mention was, also in yesterday's stream, I put down some 12-string acoustic guitar because, well, I just wanted to put it down and see if it worked. And my opinion is I don't think it works. So what I'll do is I'll play some of what we have so far, and I'll just kind of, I'll bring up the guitars a little so you can hear them. I'll fade the acoustic in and out so you can hear what I mean about that. And I'll try and bring the percussion up so you can hear what I put down there. And also the drums, I have finally been in and edited the drums. I've added in the chorus, I've added a tambourine, and I've also I had hi-hats in the chorus, and I've changed that to ride. And I've added a clap in the chorus, which I think works. I'm a little like that about it at the moment, but I think the clap works. And so what I've done is I've not used any toms at all on the drum kit. I've not done any fills on the drum kit. I've just allowed the congas to fill that space, which I think works. So I'll play the thing and I'll kind of have a mess around with the mix, and so you can hear the new elements and see what you think. So from the top. So here's the acoustic that I don't think works. No, that's the guide track. Here's the acoustic. I think you can hear the funky guitar pretty clearly, so I'm not going to give that a boost. Now let's find... right, so the percussion. The tambourine's a little excessively loud, so you can hear that anyway. And these rides in the chorus, I think they just make it motor along a little better, just like I wanted for the chorus. I still haven't thought of anything for that gap there. I just think that 12 string, it's kind of, I mean, it would want a lot of EQing to try and make it sit in a space suitable in the mix. And I just don't think it's in keeping with what I have with the rest of the track. Now, I could have yesterday, if I'd have decided I'm going to go with all acoustic guitars, then it might well have fitted and I would have built other acoustic parts around it. I might have used my mandolin on it, perhaps, a blend of different sounding acoustic guitars. But this stratty, funky part, I really must remember to solo my microphone as well when I want to solo an instrument, so that you can right, hang on, there we go. Solo my mic and then solo the guitar. This works for me. I like this. I think this may be my favourite element I've introduced to the song so far. So I'm going to build the other instruments around this. Yeah, I like that. But I have a little problem relating to that, which I'll explain in a moment. Now, what's Ed saying about drums? Oh, Basement Guitar Superstars here. Jamie, you do these early, mate. It's 6 a.m. in the central US. Yeah, Vortex was complaining about that yesterday. If you don't know who Vortex is, that's the guy from Mobile Music Pro, who does an awful lot for the mobile music community. And he's a great dude, full of enthusiasm. And he's been very, very supportive and very, very good to me. So big shout out to Vortex. Look up his channel, Mobile Music Pro, and give him a sub. Great dude. Right, yes, it is. It's early where you are. It's lunchtime where I am, and where Paul is. It's what it is basically I was streaming in the evenings. I was only doing one a week though, and I was streaming at 7 o'clock UK time, which is a good time to stream. It's a popular time for people to watch in the UK and in the US. But lockdown is sort of nearing an end, and I need to free up the time here in my studio for people to come back in person for guitar lessons. And so, unfortunately, I can't do that time anymore. I need to leave that time free. So, I had to pick another time. And a time that works for me is the middle of the day while the kids are at school and the missus is working. So, what I hoped that the people that I lost because of the time would maybe watch the stream later, and that I would hopefully pick up some new people. Although so far I have not picked up any new people, but they say, just keep doing it, and and the people will come. All right, so Ed, what were you saying about drums? You use drum session, okay? Has lots of patterns to pick from, yeah. Or you purchase licensed drum tracks, yeah. Chop them up to your liking. I've done that myself. I do create drums myself when I'm under less pressure of a deadline. Last two songs were for a metal show and it was time to crunch. Yeah, okay. Saved a ton of time. Yes. I've done that. And actually, I'm going to mention an app, right? Xdrummer by Positive Grid, my favourite developers. Xdrummer came out, right? And I like the look of it. I like the sound of it. I bought it. And in there, in Xdrummer, there are loads and loads of drum patterns that you can kind of arrange and then use in your track. But it's kind of half an app. There's a lot of functionality that you buying the app would just naturally want it to be able to do that it doesn't do, and I presume they'd probably add it later. But typical, Positive Grid, they sold it to a lot of people and then just stopped developing it. But I have used it quite a lot because the session drummers that they used to put those parts down were awesome. I mean, they're fantastic parts and they sound very, very real. So what I do is, in Xdrummer, I find parts that I like and I get the MIDI for it, export the MIDI from Xdrummer, put it into a digital audio workstation and chop it up to suit a track. Usually I build my own parts, but I have done that quite a lot. There's a song that is on my Spotify and it's on my Bandcamp, called 5 Minutes of Happiness. That is drums from Xdrummer, and the drums on that track are just stunning, and they are actually what makes it work. They're great patterns, Ed. They are. They're just, it's just you can't build a drum pattern in there, and there's just, it doesn't connect up fantastically with other apps. It's not AUV3, it's just like, where's the rest of the app, dudes? Anyway, right, so right, the point I'm at now with this track, I want to get down at least one more rhythm guitar part before I can then start thinking about is it time to get down some vocals. But here's the thing, in Cubasis 3 we've got to be careful about how many AUV3s we have open at any one time. I don't want to suffer a crash, especially seeing as how I'm doing this live. Now at the moment I've got Digisticks open for the drum kit and I'm using the multi-output buses, so I've got, it is only one instance, but I don't know how much extra CPU that is using. In fact, let's just open the system info so we can see what's going on power wise. I don't know how much extra drain that is, and then I have another instance of Digisticks open for the percussion. Now other AUV3s at the moment, I went through last night and I made sure that I'd not got anything left open that I'd forgotten about. The only other one is Tone Stack Pro for the Strat, the funky filter sound. So at this point, I'm thinking I want to start getting some sounds down. I'm wanting to, because like I could just like open another AV3 to give me a great guitar sound and put down another guitar part. But I think before I open another one, what I should maybe do is to start getting some sounds that I want for the other instruments frozen to audio. And then I can close some AV3s off and be less anxious about having any crashes. So let's... Oh, Peanut Crumb's here. Hi, Peanut. Thank you for going Roxy Music today. Does anybody honestly really think that I sing like Brian Ferry? Really? Yeah, I find that amusing. There was one track that I brought out, and actually it got played on local radio, and the guy who introduced the song said, I mean, it's only a local radio station, but it's nice. And he said he sings like a mixture of John Lennon and David Bowie, and I thought that's incredibly flattering. I mean, I'm blown away by that, but it's in no way true. I know what I sound like. Okay, so it's like a toss-up. What do I export to Real Audio first? And I think I'm going to go with the guitar, because I'm really happy with that guitar. I definitely I'm happy with all the parts. I don't need to change anything in there. I don't think anything is out of time. I've not timed it in, I've not moved any bits, to be on the line. I want it to sound very real. And if at some later point I do notice that something's a bit out of time and I do want to move it, I can still do that when it's Real Audio. So I'm going to go with the guitar. Unfortunately, it does mean kind of opening a couple more AUV3s. So let's hope we can do this and it's not going to cause any massive problem. So if I just solo my voice, right, while I do this, because I want to solo this guitar, and then I'm going to open... I've got Tone Stack Pro here for the effect, right, but I'm just going to use that effect in Tone Stack Pro, because although it does have some amps in it that sound awesome, the Nembrini amps do sound better. So, which, I mean, they should, because Tone Stack Pro at the moment costs for the whole thing just a few quid more than like one Nembrini amp would. So, I think that's acceptable. So let's add a Nembrini amp. I'm torn whether to go with Soundmaster for this sound, or whether to maybe go for my new favorite, which is the DC30 down here. The DC30 sounds fabulous, but it does kind of have quite a lot of low end to it. So I think I'm going to try the Soundmaster first. Let's just see. Okay, so I'm going to take the output down on that, and then I need to balance the gain of the amp, which is marked as volume inside this amp, against output, to get how much, to sort of blend how much dirt I want in the sound, right, and have a little tinker with the EQ. So let's just do that. Really don't think it wants very much dirt on it. All it wants to be more or less clean. That effect is making it bite as much as I need it to. I think rolling off more or less all the bass on this one is going to work for that sound. Right, now I quite like that sound. I think that what's that, Peanut? You got the energy transmission skill, Jamie. Oh man, honestly. Right, so I'm going to add a send, and I'm going to add my favourite reverb for guitar, which, oh mind you, I've got another new favourite as well. What do I want? Do I want springy, or do I want springy, or do I want spacey? I think I want springy for this. Right, so I'm going to go with Eventide Spring, which I can't find. Why can't I find that? Because it's not listed under Eventide anymore. It's listed as Spring. Yeah, we're in Cubasis 3, not 2. Okay. Right then. I have a preset that I call Vintage Guitar, and it's supposed to be that kind of old school spring reverb sound that you would have on, you know, a nice old amp. Now, I always think with fantastic reverbs like this, I mean, the Eventide, there are a lot of fantastic reverbs on iOS. I mean, if there's one thing we have on iOS, it's amazing reverbs. If you can hear that in the background, that's just a plane going over my studio. The sound will be gone in a moment. Yeah, it's pretty soundproof in here, but you know, it has its limitations. And it always seems like such a shame to kind of dial it right back, because this sounds so fabulous. But this one, it just wants to be very subtle. So I can either change that with the amount I'm sending to the reverb, or the reverb mix itself. And I think I'm going to go with the mix. You'll see that I've got all the low dialed off of this reverb here. I love a reverb where you can cut low end, because one thing you do not want to do on any rhythm guitar ever is have too much low end, and you do not want low end on your reverb. You know, it can be an absolute mix killer. I think about there is probably, oh, Nobat's here. Hi Nobat. I think that's probably about right. Right, now let's just see what the CPU is telling us down here. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. Let's see what happens. So if anybody here is a bit of a Cubasis noob, right? If you've not used it much, or if you don't have it and you're thinking about getting it, and that's why you're watching my fantastically amazing stream, I'm going to press this asterisk button here at the bottom of the guitar track, and that will render the audio into one long audio file, and it will process that with the sounds of the AV3s, the effect the funky filter effect, the amplifier sound, and the reverb. And once that's done, if it does a good job of it, fingers crossed, then I can close 3 AUV3s, therefore saving on processing power and giving me some more sort of processing headroom. So I'm just going to press it. Let's see what happens. All right, my most sincere, massive apologies about that. Um, let's see how long a tail it's put on. Okay. Um, Now it looks to me like that audio that it has exported is probably going to be clipping. Let me just zoom in on this so you can see it nice and clearly. As you can see, that's it looks like it's going to be. Let's have a listen to it and see. Right, okay. Yes, thank you very much. It's good to be back. Into 909, thank you for being here. Um, Massive apologies about that. I had no idea it was going to take as long. It doesn't normally take as long to do that as it did. And then I realised that I should have also learnt to be a juggler or something, sort of entertainment while the freezing thing is happening. And I was beginning to worry that it wasn't happening. Now, this looking at this WAV file, it looks like it should be peaking and distorting, but actually that bit sounded okay. Let's just play this bit here. It looks okay. Now, I'm not going to bore you while I play the whole thing and check it. Here's what I'm going to do at this point. I'm going to back up my project. In fact, I've not even named this project yet, so let's do that. We'll rename the project. The song's called Through Troubled Times, so let's just do that. Okay, right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a duplicate of this project at this point, and I'm not going to open duplicate project. I just want a backup. Right, now the idea is, and I do this loads, absolutely loads, and I am constantly looking through my my media folder in Cubasis and deleting things that I no longer need to go back to once I'm sure. But frequently what I will do is I will back up the project before I continue, because and it's not just because of things like this where like in this case it's because I may have just exported something that's peaking and I don't want to bore you while I check the whole thing, but also it's like a situation like, say for instance, let's say you've just exported, or you're just about to export maybe an electric piano. Right now, the left hand, the low notes on an electric piano in a track can be really, really destructive to a mix. And you might have exported a piano sound that sounds wonderful, it sounds amazing, but then when you come to doing your final mix, you've got far too much bottom end. And instead of EQing and further processing the sound that you've already exported, if you've backed up your project at that point, you can go back to that project, to the backup, and then you can make some changes and then export it again with less low end. And once you've exported that, you can grab that audio and drop it into the current version of the project and do your mix, right? So that's the reason for the backup. Okay, so now I'm going to chance it that this is okay, but as we've just been talking about, I can go back and export this again if if in fact I find that it is peaking and distorting in places. So I will now be able to go to the original take, right, the original track, and I can just delete that, and then all of the AV3s are no longer in the project. Now the idea is that once a track is frozen, the AV3s are not affecting the project, right? But I do not believe that that is the case. I've tested this by leaving a load of frozen tracks in and checking out the CPU and the DSP, and then deleting them all off, and it goes down, right? I honestly think that they are still affecting it. So I like to have backup projects so I can go back to things, but then I just delete the tracks that I've exported. So let's get rid of that. And I'm also going to be bold, and I'm going to delete that 12 string because that just does not work. So let's get rid of that track. Okay, and now I've got some more headroom to play with for the AV3s, so I can now... How are we doing, Jade? Are we all right? Is everything cool and groovy in Jade Land? In Cubasis 3, if you freeze a track, does it mute the original as in C2? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It mutes it, and it's supposed to be kind of dormant and not affecting anything, but I really have very strong doubts about that. And you know what? Backing up projects couldn't be any easier in Cubasis 2. They've made that really easy. So why not do it that way? And also, we're working on an iPad. We've got, like, you know, this much screen space. So the more things that you have in your project that you're just kind of hanging on to in case you need them later, the more screen it consumes, and the more awkward it is to move about your project without accidentally touching things and stuff. So from that point of view as well, I think it's, if you can delete a track off, get shut. Right, now we've got a super long tail on this guitar. Let's just have a quick look at that before we move on to doing another guitar. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop some of that off there and delete that. I'll do a fade out on that later when I do a fade out on everything else. I just kind of I'll leave a few bars of scrappiness at the end, and I do the fade outs when I've done the mix. So also, a lot of people don't know how to do a global mix, a global fade out rather, in Cubasis 3 with automation, and it's immensely easy to do. So I will include that in these streams, and I may do a little video on that actually, just a short little Jamie TV quickie type video on that, because it seems to be a very common question. Right, now I'm going to add some more guitar if I can come up with a part that doesn't suck. So let's add hang on, I just pressed delete by accident. What did I delete? You stupid hippie. I meant to press add. Am I going blind? Alright, so we just suffered our first live stream crash. Did you notice then, by the way, that when the project loaded back up and it tells you what AV3s it's loading, it said Spring, but Spring shouldn't be in the project anymore. I don't know why that's there, or why it was there, but anyway, it's gone now. So I'm going to try that again. Add another track. Add audio track. Okay, now guitars are blue. We've already got a blue guitar, so let's choose a different blue, and we'll label this Git 2. Yeah, Git 2 will do us. Right, now I don't know what I'm going to put down for this part. I have no preconceived ideas at all, apart from that yesterday I did play one little bit when I was trying to find a part for the other guitar part that I kind of liked. So I have a little snippet of an idea maybe. So, kind of a sound I want for the other guitar. Sort of consider what sort of a space we need to fill. Now we've got this funky guitar, and we've also got a piano that's moving around somewhat. So, if anyone has any ideas about what sort of thing I should be playing, stick it in the chat, because I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, sounds like we need a bit of a tune before we record anything, but let's just have a little jam around and see what we've got. For some reason I keep playing a major where it's a minor. I'm not sure whether to go for something kind of like a rocky sort of not rocky, not like a, you know, full bore metal guitar sound like Jade was making the other night, but maybe something like a slightly overdriven, chunky sort of a sound. Or whether to maybe just try and fill a space opposite the other guitar with just some very simply strummed chords, like if I can remember what they are. Not that one, that's for sure. Oh yeah, right, okay, so. Then actually in that next bit I play the A minor, I play the D minor, and when it goes to C the piano is not moving around so much, so maybe the guitar could do a bit of a something there. Going to bring up that piano so I can hear what I'm sort of balancing this against. There's nothing worse than putting a part down with some movement in it, and then you've got another instrument that you couldn't hear in the mix while you were doing it, and you realize that the two kinds of movement you've got over the chord just don't work together. Remember what that bit was that I came up with yesterday. Right, okay, so if I do like a cleaner guitar, I could go like just a nice strum, maybe get a sound with something like a tremolo on it, or something that fills some space with a simple strum, and then the D minor, And then maybe when we go to the C major, because the piano's not moving around there, we could go like a... Or maybe I should start on that top note, seeing as... Because it's a C major and then a C major over B. So if I start on the top string, I start with the C and then the B. That could work. I quite like that. I'm not sure about the just strummed chord. The other option is to go with never go wrong with muted funk guitar. This is true, Peanut. Oh, now we're getting ideas here, and I'm not reading the track. I'm not reading the track. Stupid hippie. I'm not reading the chat. To my ears, it needs a bluesy solo on top. It's going to get a bluesy solo on top. Definitely, Samuel. It is. Can't Get Love is a drug. Oh, do you know, Peanut? Alright, System says here in the same solo. Or saxophone. So, yeah. I can't play saxophone. I can't. That's another thing I can't play. I can't play drums, and I can't play anything that requires wind. Blowing. I can't do blowing. It's not... it's... Now, I've tried. Morning, Russ. Thanks for joining us, Russ. Pleasure to have you here. Yeah. You like the melodic picking? Yes. I think I kind of like that. Or what do you think, right? Bear in mind, I'm just doing this with like a clean guitar at the moment. There's going to be obviously some effects to it, but what do you think to just a solid strum? Yeah, I ain't got GeoShred, Samuel. I ain't got it. And the Swam stuff, I've got the strings. Swam sent me the strings, but I haven't got any of the brass ones. What it was actually, when they came out, it was when I was having my it was when I was recovering from my operation last year. That's when they started to come out, and because of that, I wasn't able to commit to doing any videos or using their stuff, so I didn't ask them for anything. So I don't have the brass stuff, basically. Oh yeah, so I'm just going to do a little solid strum thing, see what you think to that as a possibility. I don't know if I'm really feeling that. I think that I'm going to do something like that in the chorus. I think that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put down some nice chords. Let's see if we can find a really cool tremolo type sound or something. I'm feeling tremolo, because basically where I'm going with this track now, I feel, is I'm going with the sort of old school sounds. I think 60s, 70s kinds of sounds, talking, AC30s and Hammonds and electric pianos and that kind of stuff, vintage. Right, I need to tune this guitar. So let's go to my guitar track. Now, am I going to use tone stack, or am I going to use... Let's choose an amp first. Let's get an amp first. I'm just thinking about if I use tone stack for an effect, that gives me a tuner as well. That's what I'm thinking about. So yeah, Nombrini. Let's try the DC30 this time. No, yes, the DC30, which has a tremolo on it. Ah, okay. Oh, What am I doing? Like Mr. Pressy. Okay. Right, so let's go. I've got a nice. Not that one. You know, like maybe something like that. Maybe not on my bridge pickup. Middle position, right? Let's. We don't want to cut any top end at all. We need this to be bright enough to cut through everything. Let's just lose the reverb for now. I'm not sure why that's so distorted. Maybe if I take that down and this up. Ah, yes. Oh, right, okay. I've just had a thought about this tremolo. I can't I can't sync this to tempo, can I? Or can I? I did a video about this app. I don't remember seeing anything about syncing to. No, there's nothing to sync my tremolo to the tempo of the track. All right, so maybe I won't use the. Or maybe I will. Maybe I can do it manually. I've got ears. I'm struggling to get my fingers to that thing. I do like the sound of that. Let's have a little play with the speed. Oh yeah, you can't adjust it by small increments. It's a choice of 3 speeds. Magic chord. Alright, let's try the really fast one then. Okay, I think that sounds alright. Don't show. What? 8? If I don't, this one, try slide guitar. Have I got a guitar? I've not got an electric set up for slide at the moment. Let's see if this works. And if this doesn't work, then I'll give that a try. Grab my surf bike, yeah, Pulp Fiction soundtrack. Tells you again is what I usually tap. What do you mean, Sam? I'm not sure if you're referring to that conversation or to the. I'm not sure. Tell me what you mean. Right, so I'm just gonna. I think I'm gonna put a bit of this down. Is that better on? Yeah, definitely better in the middle, I think. Right, okay. idea. I just thought that it'd be nice to have an A minor that spills with the tremolo, just spills into that little gap there. Everything else stops, the tremolo carries on. But it would need to be a different A minor than that one, because that's the one I'm using for the verse, and it doesn't sound very good if I hit it again, I don't think. That doesn't sound very good, but if it was a different place, it was different. Oh, yeah, all right. Right, okay. I'm not sure what to play for the introduction with this, so I might not. I might just leave a bit of space there, because there's going to be a very short lead guitar over the introduction. So I might just leave a space there and just play a chord on the end there, like that. Right, okay, just gets a different voicing of A minor, and I think that works. Nambrini pop-up. Oh, yeah, that's true. I know to what you refer. Okay, so yeah, let's get that down. I need to tune first. So let's just go here. Now, because I'm using Nambrini, oh, actually, what I can do with this, yeah, don't press solo, you didn't want to do that. What I can do with this, I can use this for the amp, the tremolo, and some reverb. Three birds, one up, right? I don't think that needs anything else. It's got everything I need, but I need a tuner. So, thanks to the awesome Mr. Paul Music Man, we have a tuner in Nurek that I can use. Just load up my tuner. Okay, that made a little farty noise when it opened there. Slightly concerning. Wonder if that was a little spike of CPU maybe. Do you know what? Right? I'm going to be honest, right? Confession, I never said I was clever. I don't know the difference between CPU and DSP. For a while there, I thought it was exactly the same thing. But according to Jacob, it's not. So, if any of you geniuses in the chat can tell me, that would make me extremely happy. Educate the hippie. Right, so I'm just going to see if I can get a couple of little bits down with this guitar, and let's just see if it works. When I can hear a bit of it back in the mix, then I'll have an idea if it works. That was with record, and then that's my first chord there. Right. Okay, I like that. I think this is working, but I want that chord to spill right into the beginning of the verse. So I don't want that little gap that you can hear where I'm changing chord, so I'm going to use a little cheat. Okay. Now, if I bring the tail of that up to there, where I'm going to hit the next chord, put a little fade on it, if it will. There we go. A little fade on it there. Close that up. Right. Sion's here. Thanks for being here, mate. Thank you. And System, thanks very much for joining us. I don't think I said hello to you, System. My apologies. All right. Now, I know it's only one chord, but I think that sounds awesome. Let me just play that again. I think that sounds really good. Now that tremolo, it may not be like, it's not synced to the tempo of the track. It might not be perfectly, doing its thing in time to the track, but if we were a live band playing the track, it wouldn't be, would it? So and I think it sounds fine as it is. So let's put a couple more chords down, right? Oh, did you hear that there? This is a fault that a bug maybe that I've reported to Steinberg a few times actually, for several months now. And what it is, it's when you've just recorded some audio, and then you are going to record some more audio on that track. Whilst it plays past the audio you just recorded, it sounds distorted. They could have hit that chord better. And it might be nice if I'd hit the next one at all. For some reason I can't hit a D minor. I'm not sure why. Sure why that is. I'm just going to drop it in one chord at a time, honestly. Oh my god. Something's playing out of sync now. Right, okay, I want to get that next chord down, which is not that. That's it. Something's out of sync again. Right, okay. Okay, so we just need to bring this chord up here. I would not normally record a guitar part like one chord at a time or anything. It's just that these ones here, I think that I really want the tail of the chord to go right up to the next one. So recording all the way through the track in this way would be a laborious process. So I will leave it shortly, and I will finish that off in my own time. I don't want the stream to be too boring, but I just but I just want to get these few little parts down here and let's establish whether this part works. No, Paul, the distortion isn't in the freeze. When you freeze it, it freezes absolutely fine. It's just very, very annoying to hear it being like that, you know, when you're recording, you know, it's just not nice. Funny how it's not possible to autocomplete nicknames with a hashtag. Okay. You mean in the chat? Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking, what nicknames? DSP is digital signal processing. You can find out about it on Wikipedia. Yeah, I know that, Jade, but what's the difference between that and CPU? I mean, you know, to me it sounds like it should be the same thing. Okay, so I've just done a little fade into that one, haven't I? Yeah, and I'll do this one and then we'll check that all the fades are okay. Right. So how's this bit go? Can't remember. There we are. Right, does it need to be played straight? It needs to go with the rhythm of the track. Yeah. Right, okay. Got a rhythm. Let me get my finger in right. All right. I want to do it slightly differently. Yeah, okay, I like that better. Let's just bring this up here. I'm just doing the fades very roughly for the minute, and I'm going to go back and check that in a moment. And then we want that last chord in there. I wonder if I can do that chord thing again in that gap. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't want that gap in there from when I'm changing chords. So there. Okay, and then okay. Right. Let's see what that whole thing sounds like. Okay, here is another issue I've reported to Steinberg numerous times. and still seems to be a problem in the latest update of Cubasis 3. Although I ought to point out that I am still on iOS 13 and they've told me that it's optimized for 14 and that I should go to iOS 14 in order to get the best out of Cubasis, and I'm really like that at the moment. But sometimes, right, you record a bit of audio, then you record your next bit of audio, and that last bit that you recorded distorts whilst the track bar passes it, and then you record the new bit, and then when you play it back, the last bit that you recorded doesn't play. And eventually, later along down the line, as you continue recording your project, it'll start to play again, but it's very disconcerting because I can see it, but I can't hear it. Or that one. This one plays. Why does it do that? You know? Wait until iPad iOS 14.6 if you can. Really? Wait for iOS 14.6? What you mean, like don't update from 13 and then go straight to 14.6? Oh, right. There's no dedicated audio DSP on audio iOS devices. CPU is central processing unit. Includes a DSP, logic unit, control unit, and much more. Right, okay. It does it because it's a door with issues. Hey, right there, Sam. But, is there a door on iOS that doesn't have issues? Now, I can tell you, without a shadow of a doubt, that Audio Evolution is much less problematic for your basic everyday digital audio workstation functionality, but it's a lot less rich in features, especially now with this new Cubasis update. But if you're wanting to get something simple done and get it down without any arsing about, that's probably a good digital audio workstation to use. And it's one that seems to have slipped under the radar for a lot of people. Yes, it would be a bummer for vocals, Paul. And it's happened to me numerous times, and it's really difficult for me, like a pitchy singer like me, to be checking back to that last vocal that I did. You know, was it okay? And it's gone. It does come back later though. But what is that about? Okay, so what I've done then now is I've put a part down that I'm happy with for this verse. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to sort of continue through doing all the verses in the live stream. Let's have a look at the pre-chorus and see what I'm going to play there. So what's that? That's a C, G, and then when it goes back to the A minor, I could repeat the chord like I did in the verse. But what I'm going to do with that C and G? Right? I could echo what I did in the verse there. What about a higher voicing of the chord? C. Right, okay, so I like that. But then we've got an E7, and what should I play for that? I use this E7 for the other guitar part, like that. And what rhythm do I need to play over it? Okay. Alright, I like the parts. If I can play it, it'll be even better. There's a new looper-like behavior in 3.3 that might cause issues with audio recording. It can be turned off in the settings. Does it come back if you quit the app and relaunch it? Right, okay. If I relaunch the project, invariably all the audio is there again. Yes. And normally, if I wasn't live streaming, that's what I would have done. But you know, I don't want to keep, like, you know, cutting off my mic by closing the project and opening it again. And the other point that you make, Samuel, is it actually started doing these two errors I'm talking about. And it's frustrating to have errors with real audio in Cubasis, because that's where it does actually excel. That's what it is actually good at. But these errors do make it frustrating. But it was doing this before the new update. So let's see if I can play this. Right. Alright, that was okay, but I fumbled the 7 on the end. Yeah. Alright, I like that part. Okay, so we've got verse and pre-chorus down. Let's see what I could do for a chorus. Okay, that's the first thing I've come to, and I know it's simple as putting on a hat, but I think it works, because what I did with the other guitar part was I offset it. I didn't play on the one. I offset that funky part, and it leaves lots of room. And I think this idea works with the piano. I just want to turn that piano up a little again so I can hear the movement in it. simple as out, but I think that really works. So I'm going to stick that down. All right, I like that. I'm not sure. I didn't consider before I recorded it about that last chord where it kind of suddenly finishes. So I just dragged that chord. Let's just see what that sounds like. Think it might have been better if I'd caught it with an upstroke. Let's just redo that last chord there. I missed the goddamn string. Yeah, okay, I like that. Okay, right then, what time is it? Right, okay, so here's what I'm going to do from here. After the stream today, I am going to continue putting down the parts for this. I don't like to copy across guitar parts. I like to put them all down. You know, I like to put them all down in a very real way, because, you know, I think there was a little because a guitar part, a real instrument part, will never be perfect, and I think those consistent slight imperfections and inaccuracies, and the slightly different way that you strike the strings, and the slightly different errors of timing. I say errors of timing, they might not sound like errors, but you know what I mean. It'll never be perfectly on the bar line unless you move them to the bar line, which I don't tend to do. So I like those, you know, that consistent human feel. That's what I'm trying to say. I like that. So I'm going to, after the stream, I will finish putting this guitar part down in that way. And what I will do is, when I've finished it, is I'm going to export it to Real Audio by freezing it, because I'm not going to do that in the stream again, considering what happened earlier. I'm also going to check through this stratty part and check that it didn't in fact peak or distort anywhere. I'm not hearing it actually as we go along, but I want to listen to it closely and make sure it's all right. And then I'm happy. I've been listening to the I've been listening to the conga part and the drum part, and I'm happy. I'm happy with those parts. I'm keen to get those exported to Real Audio, but I'm not. I think what I'll do. Is I will export them, because as part of this stream, what I want to do is I want to include, you know, looking at some effects for drums and mixing drums and stuff, because I have some stuff to share about that I think, you know, might be interesting to at least one or two people. But that it can be very slow and laborious, because I want to be very careful how I go about it. You know, I mean, it could fill an entire stream just getting you know, a great kick drum sound in some instances. So I don't want that to happen. That would be tedious. So what I might do is I might export the multi-bus out version of Digistix that I have here I've got 8 tracks of drums. So what I think I'll do is I'll export them all to real audio without adding effects or anything to them. And then when we do that in the stream, I will add effects, and then we'll export it again. And I think I will also export the conga part because I'm pretty happy with it, and that might be kind of tedious and boring to watch during the stream. So in the next stream, what we'll do is I'm going to put down some lead guitar bits. Am I going to do that first? Okay, well, over the next couple of streams anyway, I'm going to be putting down some lead guitar bits, and I'm going to be adding some effects to drums and stuff, and I'm going to be looking for some sounds for the piano and the organ. And then once we've got to that point, then I will do the vocals in the stream, and then we'll mix. So that's my plan from here. So I think for now I'm going to call it a day with this stream, and I'd like to thank you all very, very much for being here. Thank you for joining me. I really, really, really appreciate it. I'm not going to do streams this weekend because I've got a few things that I need to take care of, and I will be back on Monday continuing these streams at 12 o'clock UK time. So thank you ever so much for watching. I hope that you all have a fantastic weekend, and that you make lots of great music and don't do too much pissy panting about. Thanks very much, everyone. I'll see you later.